There's about 16 events in total, but the ones predominantly that I'm involved in would be obviously the Sunset Service, the Candlelight Vigil, the HMS Newcastle Freedom of Entry March, which is on the Monday, the Dawn Service down at Nobby's Beach, the March itself, which is obviously at Anzac Day, and the United Commemoration Service, which is in Civic Park.
How many people do you expect to attend celebrations this year?
Today we'll probably get about 2,500 people at the Sunset Service. The Candlelight Vigil normally gets about 1,000 roughly. The Dawn Service, or the HMS Newcastle, the Freedom of Entry, we're expecting probably quite a few thousand to line the streets for that one, because it's a first time thing, that one. And then on Anzac Day, probably the Dawn Service, you'd be averaging around about between 45 to 60,000 people, depending on the weather dependent. The March, you'd get about 25,000 line the street, and you'd get probably about 1,500 actually in the March itself, so that's pretty good. And the United Commemoration Service, which is in Civic Park, we're generally about 14 to 16,000 for that one.
How do these numbers vary from that of 5 years ago?
Well, it actually has been progressively growing. I mean, I've been doing these events for 14 years, the same services, not particularly this one, this is only new for the last couple of years. And when I first started out 14 years ago at Camp Shortland, we'll probably get about 5,000 people. So to build it up to 50,000 is quite phenomenal. But the reason we've built the event to suit the people, you know what I mean? It's obviously televised live on NBN, it's also broadcast live on YouTube. It's broadcast on ABC TV as well as ABC Radio. So it gets a greater or a wider audience now. We've got large screens down at the Dawn Service, so even if you're right at the back, you're still part of the ceremony. So we've really catered for access and inclusion and making people wanting to be part of that service.
Have you noticed a change in the number of young people attending these events?
It's quite interesting, because it's, I would say the younger generation right now, the current one comes through, you're from say 10 right through to 20, really are captured by the events of Anzac Day. They wanted, of World War I and World War II, they're really wanting to know why and how come and what brought us to this point, and how Australians served and died, because it's the ultimate sacrifice. You don't go to work to die, do you? And that's what happened to a lot of us. So it's, I've noticed the young ones really adopting it, which is fantastic.
How much planning goes into organising these Anzac Day events?
It's literally 12 months, and it can teach you to roll. I mean, we have 3 major meetings with all our stakeholders, and they start about 6 months prior to the event, and then we basically look at what happened last year and lessons learned, what worked and what didn't work, and then the next meeting's all about adopting those changes and methods and making it better, and then the final meeting's about finalising all the plans away you go. But there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes for all that, continuously with all the different stakeholders, because it's just not council. It's police, it's taxis, it's buses, it's ferries, it's the community, it's all different businesses that support Anzac Day. It's huge. It's absolutely Army, Navy, Air Force. I mean, it's a lot of stakeholders involved.
From the council's perspective, why is Anzac Day so important to the community of Newcastle?
Well, it's not just from council's point of view. It's important for Australians in general, because Anzac Day is one of the most patriotic events in Australia. You need to unite people, especially in the ever-changing world that we are now, especially the threat of terrorism and things like that. So you need to unite people, bring them together as one, so they have a common voice, common cause. And if you do that, it makes the community very strong. So it's very important to do that. So it is. It's also very important for police and everybody else. I mean, they want that unity in the community, because unity stops a lot of the problems, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Thank you.